Hey guys, welcome and hello and welcome and hello. It is a very somber edition of Un Poco Mas. I feel like I'm at a wake or something. Just been a bit of a rough day. Not so much for the overall market. I did really well on Tesla. I sold a few shares at 410. So I was really happy with that. But in terms of the stocks that I generally you've heard about, lately SMCI and more consistently NIO and Sofi was really got hit hard. NIO went up 13% yesterday and then was down I think 8% today. So it was a total roller coaster. SMCI released good news, kind of sold the news on that, even though it was a slightly green candle yesterday, sold off today all the way down below 40, I think $30.60. And then, of course, our beloved Sofa. I'm just talking about all of them at once because I'm extremely tired, got a lot of work to do. And I know realistically, I'll tell you, oh, I'll come back on and talk about Sofi. I'll come back on and talk about SMCI. But then I won't. So, it'll just be like super annoying. So let me see what SoFi did today. It was down 28 cents. It's not too problematic. I mean, the stock, like I said, just if you look, it was just at $6.93 on September 11th. It was just at $6.74 early October. So, 2.5 months, the stock has more than doubled. And then just retracing, you know, a small fraction of that run is actually healthy price action. You have to worry about a stock kind of in a shooting star pattern. So still very healthy volume at 50 million shares, probably a bit of a reshart. I haven't really looked into that, but Bank of America came out and basically hit the stock. I wouldn't really call it a hit piece because they raised their price target from 11 to 12. I think that was old Mahir. And put a sell on the stock just on valuation. And I'm not going to come out and tell you, hey, it's 16.50. SoFi is grossly undervalued, because I don't believe it is. My target was somewhere 14, 15. I raised my target to $20.88, and I believe that is warranted based upon, again, the things we don't know, the intangibles SoFi brings to the table, the fact that their platform allows them to develop and deploy these features much faster than any of their peers. Those are all very good things, but Mr. Market wants to see those revenues actually on the books, not in theory. Mr. Market wants to see these high margin revenues from the loan platform, grow and, add to the bottom line. And then I think SoFi will be rewarded with that tech multiple. But right now, honest to God, I don't have a huge problem at all with SoFi trading around the $15 level. I think it's going to stabilize here, consolidate, and then I think it's going to leg up because let's face it, I mean, SoFi's just made their first couple of pennies, 2 cents, 1 cent. That doesn't really mean anything to me. They just made a nickel. In 2026, I quite frankly think they're going to make $1. And I think the share price is going to be way, way up. LaPointe said it. Noto said it. Nothing is in the guidance that you don't know about. And there's a lot of things you don't know about. So what they're saying is the guidance is low. At least that's how I'm hearing it. And a company that's had nothing but headwinds, now there's a lot of tailwinds lining up behind the company, regulatory environment. We have to see, interest rates vis-a-vis inflation, how those numbers look. I think there's some readout coming this week. What is it? Wednesday, Thursday. So I think SoFi is looking very, very strong. I think, there's some FUD in the marketplace just because the stock has just more than doubled in a couple months. And anytime that happens, I think a little bit of retracing, a little bit of retracement is a relatively healthy thing. Back over to Super Micro, guys. This really took a huge hit today. Actually went down, like I said, all the way down to 39.77 was just triggering stop losses, just basically a bloodbath all day. But again, remember the fact, my calls, I had some long-term calls out toward the end of next year. Those were only down a few percent. But my calls for this week, I got kicked right in the balls. I think they were down 60% or something. So I don't know. I lost like $16,000. Anyway, I made a bunch of money on this stock so far, a ton of money. I'm still, playing with house money. So that's great. But it's important you're realistic. Like, some days you lose money and you just are, you got to be honest. Like, hey, I effed around and find out. And I got to hold on after this video. I got to run on home and grab my shine box. Going to be shining up a couple of pairs of wingtips down at the soup kitchen. Try to get a crust of bread. Yeah, but no, it's not that bad. But yeah, it was, the stock went from 17 all the way up to 50, came back to 40. Not really the end of the world. Again, I think pretty healthy price action. If you take a look at the chart, you see basically where it finished, this 30, 80, 40 area. This has come up above that on 12.2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be like the 8th test of that area. If it comes down, hits it again, just, within just very few days of trading, like 6 days of trading. So it looks like there's some short-term support in that area. Very, very hard to say. Now, the FUD keeps getting recycled on SMCI, but a couple of analysts really, it's very confusing what happened. Okay, so JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee said Supermicro's business remains robust and the customers are staying put. He met with Supermicro executives on a recent visit to the company's headquarters in San Jose. Despite market speculation about customers moving orders to other vendors, management reassured investors that its customer base remains strong with no significant signs of changes to order allocations, Chatterjee said. He added, the company is confident in its ability to service orders and is gearing up for new product rollouts in the second half fiscal 2025 and early fiscal 2026. Also, Supermicro said is on track to ramp production at its new plant in Malaysia in the first half of calendar 2025. However, Chatterjee rates SMCI stock as underweight or sell with a price target of $23. Just kind of strange in light of the information he uncovered. Sales are strong, robust. They're able to deliver. So it's hit a split adjusted 22.90 on March 8th. Then it goes through the history. Hindenburg, a request for extension that was granted. The Hindenburg report next day, Supermicro announced delaying their filings October 30. And Ernst & Young quit as their auditor in a positive development. The special independent committee found no accounting wrongdoing. Of course, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, who's your mom? SMCI stock jumped nearly 29% to $42 on the news. So it's basically kind of holding that same level where it came up after the news kind of gapped up. I don't see this price action as everybody's saying, hey, the thing's over, the thing's done, but valuation is still, extremely attractive in my eyes. If you look at this article by Michael Del Monte, I'm not really super familiar with this guy, but he goes through a lot of the numbers and he's worried about them basically overbuilding because they're only at 50%. But I don't think that's a problem if you look at, the demand that NVIDIA is forecasting for Blackwell. And the fact that Supermicro says they have, multiple new products coming out next year that are going to be sort of best in breed solutions. One of the things to realize is that this company has a lot that is unique and proprietary. That's what people don't. You've gone through the audit update. What the special committee said. We've gone through all of that. So there's no accounting wrongdoing, but there's controls. They're not going to have to restate anything, but they have to hire more people, have to, get more robust processes, et cetera, et cetera. So, operations. So they build full-scale liquid-cooled data centers as part of its rack-scale plug-and-play solution. So essentially, they build ready-made solutions that allow people to build data centers. The data center building block solution can significantly reduce new build-outs from 2 years to a few quarters. So their solution reduces the data center build-out from years to a couple quarters. Management anticipates that 15 to 30% of new data centers will leverage DLC infrastructure over the next 12 months. This can be seen with digital reality, as the data center REIT will be offering DLC at some of its facilities. As part of this, SMCI released its Super Cloud Composer for infrastructure orchestration at the data center level. They write software. They have algorithms. This is not just, oh, we buy some racks and slap some servers in there. This company is actually pretty unique, and I think demand for their products and their revenues are about to absolutely explode. And I think NVIDIA is telling you that, the market's telling you that, Facebook's telling you that, Tesla's telling you that. Everyone is building data centers, and this company has the best solution, and they're absurdly undervalued. That's why I keep pounding on the table. It's not just to prop up my dog shit calls for this Friday. And I actually sold some of them because I still had like half my money left and rolled them out like 4 more weeks. So, and I rolled them out, I think at 41 or something. So I'll show you, I'll screenshot my stupid Sofi account and show you the carnage, the absolute carnage. One of those stupid picture posts that nobody looks at. You guys don't know I do picture posts. Nobody does picture posts. You just put a post and then like a little caption and you post it. It's like Friendster, like 1994 or something. So anyway, if you start to look at their products and you start to look at what they're going to be releasing in the next year, and you start to look at the density of the processors, so just read this article. It goes on and on and on. SMCI has NVIDIA GB200 NLV 72 rack ready for production with its 10U air-cooled and 4U liquid-cooled B200 rack system. The fact worth mentioning is that DLC solution will have a hybrid solution with cooling fans as part of the system. For comparison purposes, Hewlett-Packard announces AI Day that the firm will be releasing a pure direct liquid cooling rack, will not require any cooling fans, potentially improving power efficiency. Dell, the people who I've talked to who sort of know say that actually SMCI has a better solution than HP and Dell, but I don't have the technical capacity, nor the training, nor the intellect, et cetera, to tell you one way or the other. In addition, NVIDIA Blackwell Solutions, SMCI is offering advanced micro devices, MI300, MI325 platforms, and Intel Gaudi 3 solutions. So they go across the entire board with all the chip makers. Accordingly, AMD's and Intel solutions are anticipated primarily utilized for AI inferencing as opposed to AI train. Oh, I see what they're saying. It's the other side. So it's not the cream of the crop. Inferencing. I don't know why I couldn't read that. Probably because I'm chunky. Do note the financial figures. So they're talking about revenues. They're talking about, how much, capacity they have, how much this compares their guidance of 6 to 7 billion. So it's basically coming close to the guidance midpoint, 75-76%. So it's a tighter range, but management's basically telling you financially the company is very, very healthy. The demand's healthy. So, on and on and on with SMCI. It's just it's an absolute roller coaster. It can go way, way up. It can go way, way down. But it looks like it's kind of liking that, $40 level right now for hopefully a bit of consolidation for another leg up rather than just the next shoe dropping. NIO down 8% today, just ugly. The algo really likes that 480 level, and it just took it down there immediately and basically held it there all day, bled down a little bit. In terms of news, deliveries for NIO were only 3,700, but I think they delivered another 1,500 Onvo units, so it's over 5,000. Pretty good, but it's just not showing the growth that we need. And Onvo is supposed to deliver 10,000 units this month. They keep reiterating that, and the registrations thus far are not showing. They're on pace to do that. But I do have a certain amount of faith in management because they generally backload a lot of things onto the last week or the last few days, and then those deliveries tend to jump up. So anyway, nothing really new to worry about with NIO. It's just the downgrade by Goldman was on, competition, margin pressure. Again, this is really a play on battery swap. I don't think XPeng can compete with BYD on volume, on price. I don't think, NIO starting out owning that sort of mid-high part of the market, I think was an excellent strategy. I think that Onvo is going to ramp. It's going to be successful. But the real thing we need is more companies to start building, cars for the battery swap alliance so that the battery swaps can become, a profit center rather than a boondoggle, if you will. So it's one of these deals where you're probably not going to know right away if NIO is going to be there at the end, because they're building this swap network out, as was extremely rapidly. It hasn't been as rapid the last year, but that's because they're trying to improve their margins, trying to improve their profitability. But there's just so much competition in China. That's why I'm excited. They're opening, they opened a NIO house in UAE. They're aggressively expanding in the Middle East. I think they still plan to pursue expansion into Europe, etc. There's rumor today that Tesla is going to be releasing a Tesla Q, which will be an affordable car after all. And, the stock accordingly went crazy. Let's see. We got Carl Seamark. I really don't think battery technology makes swap irrelevant, because swap does so much more than just speed up the process. It's better for the batteries. It's better for the consumer. It's better for cost. It's better for the grid. It's better for utilities. It's better for the government. It's better for efficiency. There's less waste. There's easier to monitoring. You're going to have less fire because you're going to be able to catch problems earlier. There's just so many benefits of swap. And the problem with battery technology is, even if you can fully charge a battery in like 5-8 minutes, how many people can do that all at once at rush hour when they need to go home from work? Because in places where everybody lives in high-rise apartments and they can't charge at home, and they're not going to be able to practically charge at home for the foreseeable future, I think swap plays a huge role. And I think that's why CATL is, who knows more about batteries than CATL? They're like thinking, batteries will advance and that technology will advance and that'll go right into swap. I mean, it's like, you can advance battery technology in all sorts of different ways. It's not just charging speed, so no, I don't really think so. Well, without swap, I mean, the only way you can get the technological improvements is to buy a new car. I mean, so it's just a great example. It's like a great segue into saying why swap is so beneficial. There's just so many ways it's beneficial. You don't necessarily want to buy a whole new car if there's a new chemistry out or a new size of battery pack. With NIO Onvo, you can, probably put that into your car, and probably the same with Firefly on, of course, a different scale. Wife swap TV show sponsored by NIO. That's funny, Carl. NIO. Yeah, clap my dog. Don't be so sad. I mean, it's like the algo is still on the stock. They're not making money yet. It's going to have its day, but it's going to be, it's going to be a long process. As long as you could see an announcement. Just NIO Day is coming right up. The CEO keeps hinting at stuff, so I wouldn't assume they don't have, a rabbit in their hat, a couple of tricks up their sleeve. Like, it makes so much sense for others to partner with NIO to build for the battery swap. It's very, very clear that the Chinese government likes battery swap, likes NIO, likes what they're doing. The ET9 is very unique. I think it's going to sell extremely well in the Middle East. It's a unique car. It's not just the steer-by-wire. It's all sorts of other things, the suspension, software, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, 10X. I did. I had bought a bunch of 10X. I love that company. I'll try to do another video. Hopefully tonight I'll have some time and I'll sit down. But it's a real slow mover because they're in the P3. They got the 100 million. They're good for the next couple of years, and we're just kind of sitting back waiting for data, basically. But yeah, I mean, that drug's going to get approved. Levosimendan is going to get approved by the FDA. I think it's going to sell extremely well for your HPEF sufferers. And yeah, I really like TENX. I think it's an excellent value right now, considering the potential of that drug. And not only that drug, but Aminatib, or however you say that one. Another good drug they've developed an oral formulation of. So they take existing drugs of oral formulations, blah, blah, blah. Oh no, I'm not in GameStop, not right now. Billy Jack shaking his weenie. That's always good to know. Clap my dog when Sofi breaches. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's found some resistance there. Check back up. It's fine. Yeah, the markets are just shaking out the weenies. I mean, this is going to happen. Like SMCI, I think market makers want to own the stock. It's got a lot of insider ownership, and you know, it's like they don't want retail to make all this money. Retail's already made too much money. Like turds like me made a bunch of money on calls. They don't like to see that. They like to cut us down a peg, take us down a peg, put us in our place. Go returder, bad returder. No money for you. Okay, sir, may I have another? Yeah, you could definitely be selling cash secured puts. I'm just Air Force, I'm just playing so deep into house money on this one. Putting up another 30 was not a big deal. So yeah, roll it out a few weeks. I'm really bullish. You could definitely buy calls, sell puts, any way you want to go. But I'm just bullish the stock. The multiple makes no sense to me. 1x forward sales. I mean, come on. I don't. I'm buying shares at this point. Like I just want long shares, leaps, because this thing could take a big drop when if they have to restate financials dramatically. I know they said they didn't, but that's not for their attorney to say that, or the special committee. I know they did a lot of investigation, but that's for the auditor to say. BDO USA, who's as reputable as they come. Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, cash secured puts, great way to go. The cousin of the covered call, it's sort of what the smart people do. They sell covered calls, they sell cash secured puts, they collect premium, then they make money. And they just let time decay work for them. Now, I do a lot of that stuff, but it's boring to me. So I like to buy calls on these bull runs, and I just kept, laddering them up like 5 times, and it was fun. It was fun. Made a lot of money, but it was just basically luck. Just kind of saw it happening and went on its own. I don't know. I think last time I saw they owned like 5 million shares or something. Yeah, $4 reiteration by the Chia Pet's probably coming. I saw an interview. I think it was Tanner or Tevis who was playing his interview, and he's like basically saying, "Hey, it's just like Lending Club, but it's overvalued. Their credit quality isn't much better than Lending Club." It's just, if you listen to it, it would be like all they do is just personal loans. That's just the whole company. It's just so stupid. It's such bullshit analysis, fake analysis, dishonest analysis, phony analysis, smug analysis, just looking like you're basking in the smell of your own farts and enjoying it, like thinking that's culture. No, that's not opera, Chia Pet. That's the smell of your own fart. Learn the difference. It's an important life skill. Hello and welcome, Carl C. Mark. Welcome and hello, guys. It's Un Poco Moss. Thank you for joining me on this very, very special edition where we're celebrating my stocks dropping like rocks and losing a bunch of money. No, I'm not worried. This happens, Guys, this is volatility. If you're going to buy a stock that goes from 17 to 46, and then you're going to cry if it goes to 40, this stuff ain't for you. That's if extreme volatility doesn't just go up, guys, it can go down as well. So keep that in mind. You should know that. If you buy stocks, you should know sometimes they go down. It's very important. Important safety tip. Thanks, Egon. I will buy more. Clap my dog. He knows TAs and charts. Yeah, Air Force, we don't see him often, but he comes in with high quality takes. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Did you expect another market run after the Fed cut? Bank earnings start in January. Very hard to say. I mean, there's so much going on right now, guys, in the world. American politics, monetary policy. We have this sort of looming trade war that Trump wants to do. So there's so many moving parts right now. It's really impossible for me to guess what's going to happen. I have no idea. I really expect the market to sort of be cautious. I think inflation's going to be a little bit higher than people expect. Might not get all the rate cuts people want. you're going to have like these tax cuts, deregulation combined with tariffs. It's an odd stew. So it's not something that my econ brain can sort of get its head around. We have, of course, the great Princess J, the great Princess J, who is really our the only viewer we care about, if we're honest. Here at Un Poco Mas, we hate the rest of you. We hate the rest of you with a passion, but we love Princess J. So anyway, guys, I have no idea what's going to happen with this thing tomorrow. In terms of SMCI, looks like it held support at 40. History would tell me it's going to pop back up or it's going to sell way off. It's not just going to maintain this $40 level for too long, because this thing has tended to sort of stay on a step just briefly and then level up. And then last time, of course, leveled back down. In terms of NIO, boy, this chart is a turd basket. It's just back on the same algo. I mean, it's been on. It's just trying to pull it back down. Doesn't care if it shorts. It doesn't care if it, breaks something. It's just the algo is just not off the stock, and I don't think it's going to get off the stock. So we need some big news. We need something big at NIO Day. We need a partnership. We need some numbers that come in way above expectations. Everything's just sort of been at or below expectations. And while I think there's just massive potential with this company, massive potential in battery swap, we're not seeing it realized yet in terms of revenues, profits, none of that stuff. So unless there's news, we got to be patient and, let them grind it out. With Sofi, like I already talked a lot about this one. I think the chart still looks extremely bullish. I think this little retracement here is very healthy. I think we could come off these levels and go back up. But like I said, someone said it has to break down, that 17 level. And then I think we could go up to 21. But time will tell on that. So anyway, guys, that's really all I had for today with this turd. DCA nice. Just watch out for the long-term support falling out. AMD is fifth fiddle and chips suffer. Yeah, it was, who did I see? It was Financial Education Jeremy came out with a video. I didn't watch much of it because it's probably a total waste of time, but basically saying buy all the AMD you can, buy AMD. So I might watch it if I get a chance, kind of see his take. He's a smart guy, but he sometimes pumps, a lot of turds. Anyway, guys, that's really all I've got for you. It's SMCI getting kicked in the nuts. It's me getting kicked in the nuts. It's NIO getting kicked in both nuts, along with me. It's Sofi getting kicked in like half a nut. So I got kicked in like 4.5 nuts today, which, nice day at the office. Anyway, guys, hope you have a wonderful evening. I really appreciate you watching Un Poco Mas. We'll talk again at you real soon. You guys have a great one. Peace. I'm out.